Hello folks, this is Sula speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. This is taken from a double up game that I played together with Headwinder. In this video we're going to be looking at one of the big vertical team compositions in TFT Set 12, and that is the Portal team composition. I haven't featured Portal yet in a video, and I thought it was time that I put together a game where I could actually showcase this, because Portal's one of the big vertical traits in this set. And it's one of the few traits that's been strong pretty consistently throughout the length of the set thus far. We're getting close to the halfway point. And for most of the set up to this point, the set's been dominated by reroll compositions, like lots and lots of reroll compositions. But Portal is one of the few non-reroll compositions that's actually been viable as a trait. Now, I was hoping that we would get Pot of Gold. I really did not want the stupid trainer golems, but of course, inevitably, everyone else runs over to the trainer golems, and we're going to end up getting that one. So I see that there is a a hunter emblem, a preserver emblem, and a portal emblem. But anytime you get +1 to portal, it's a really good idea to look to play into the portal trait. And in fact, no one else has a portal emblem, so I'm the only one who has this. And in addition to that, I also get an Ezreal here that drops. Ezreal is the 3-cost portal unit. So this tells me immediately that I should look to go into portal. So I can make use of the portal emblem on this golem, and I can make use of the preserver emblem later on. But there's not really a whole lot that I can do with the hunter emblem, and that's basically going to go to waste in this game, and that's not at all that uncommon. Meanwhile, Headwinder is also looking at what he has. He has a warrior emblem. He's going to end up playing into the warrior trait out of his different options here. I'm also having pretty good luck at hitting some of the portal units, so I'm definitely going to look to try to play some of them here. I've got the Elise over here at the moment. And then I've also been able to find, Elise is not a portal unit, I should be clear. But I had that initial Ezreal, and then I've also managed to find some Jaces, and I've also found a Kassadin here in the shop. So right now I'm just trying to build out my board here. What I would ideally like to do is try to use Ezreal as my main carry throughout the early game here, just because I've had the early Ezreal drop. He's a solid unit. Oh, but then, by the way, we get this. I end up getting a double Bard drop here, and Headwinder also had a Bard drop as well. So he's going to send me the Bard. I'm actually going to have 2-star Bard immediately at the start of the game, which is just wild. I would have probably taken Caretaker's Ally if I didn't have direction in this game and then used that to give me direction, but I know I'm going to go for a portal team composition. So I'm going to take this, Precise Planning. When you win or lose combat by 3 or fewer units, gain 3 gold. So I definitely want to get this Bard on the board. Let's go ahead and put that in. And I actually have what I think is a pretty strong board here. I have a 2-star Bard on 2-1. That's pretty ridiculous. I also have 3 portal in. I'm also picking up Preserver trait because I have +1 Preserver from the Golem. And then I also have 3 portal in as well. So this should be very, very strong. And I also have the 2-star Jace back there as well, who's a good early game unit, but then falls off as the game goes on. The one thing that doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense is the Elise up there, but we'll make do with Elise as we can. Turns out that this is actually a 2-item start, not the normal 3-item start. But that's actually good because I needed all of that money because I've sunk 6 gold into purchasing Bards. And I've also sunk, I did not sell the Ezreal, so that's 3 gold I could have had but didn't have. And then I've also put another 3 gold into the Jace. So like my board is quite expensive, but it would be a good idea if I could try to win streak with this. As I said, ideally I would play through the Ezreal in the early game, but since I have this 2-star Bard, I'm just going to work to play through the Bard. And then I hit the 2-star Elise as well. The good news is I am going to get 3 gold from that initial Precise Planning augment. That's because that round was won with, I think I had 3 units left on the board. Biggest issue is going to be that I might be too strong to get the gold value from that. But if I'm just win streaking anyway, that's also perfectly fine. It is just a silver gold. There's not that much value to the silver augments. I mean, they're obviously still important. And by the way, it looks like Headwinder's taking the same thing as me for his initial augment, but they're not as impactful as like a silver or as like a gold or especially a prismatic augment. Anyway, so what I want to do is I want to win these rounds, but I also would like to win the rounds with one of my 4 units dying so I can get that extra gold. Does not look like that's going to happen in this round though. It turns out the Golem is going to die, but all my other units are perfectly fine. That person's board was pretty weak, so I am not going to get that extra 3 gold for this round. And it also looks like Headwinder's potential win streak got interrupted there. All right, so as I said, this is a portal video, so I'm going to be picking up portal units throughout the game. There are 8 portal units, so if you want to play portal 8, you do need to get all 8 of them, and that includes 2 4 costs and a 5 cost. By the way, another Ezreal this early is pretty wild. It's a shame I don't really have any Ezreal items thus far. So portal, as I said, big vertical trait. It is one of the verticals where just going straight portal actually seems to work pretty well. But it works really well if you get up to the 8 portal. The 6 portal is not that strong. So ideally, you really want to get up to 8 portal. And again, that is possible to do without getting an emblem of some kind, but you do have to find all 8 portal units, so it doesn't allow for a lot of flexibility of what you're playing. Portal is one of those traits that gets much, much stronger if you can get +1 to it in some fashion, like I've done here with the trainer golem, because that way, number one, you do not have to find Nora, who's a 5 cost unit, in order to get the 8 portal in. And in addition to that, it just opens up a little bit more flexibility of what you want to play, because then you have more units that you can play alongside the portal units by virtue of having that +1. All right, unsurprisingly, I was able to win those 3 rounds. As I said, my board was really strong. And then it looks like I lost one of my units, so I should get the additional gold on the next round as well. The only downside is I am last pick on the carousel, but that's okay. I can look to try to grab something here. I would ideally like to try to get items for a future Rise, because he does tend to be the main carry in a portal board. Rise is a 4 cost unit. He's portal plus scholar. And there's actually an internal scholar synergy to this trait. I would have taken the bow, by the way, but the bow gets snapped up. There is an internal synergy to this trait, because portal, there is a portal plus scholar at the 1 cost tier. That's Zoe. There she is right there. Portal witchcraft scholar, as I get that additional gold coming in. And Rise also has portal plus scholar. So if you just play all the portal units, you're going to get scholar 2 anyway. I'm a little bit different in this game in the sense that because I already have this 2-star bard, I already have scholar on the board even without Rise. So there's a good case to be made that I should look to try to grab bard, see if I can make 3-star bard, because I already have 3, and Headwinder already has another one. So we have 4 bards combined already on 2-5. There's a good case to be made that I should just try to 3-star the bard, and then maybe I can dump in Melio at the end of the game, and I'll play 4 scholars, which I think would be pretty strong, especially if I have a 3-star bard. And then I also can 2-star Rise in a vertical portal board. So that's kind of my goal is I'm going to grab bards, and I'm going to look to play scholars along with portal. There are other directions that you can go with portal. One thing you can do is you can try to pick up some additional mages as well, because Nora is the 5 cost portal unit. She is portal plus mage. You can also try to pick up units like Nami, and I don't know, so oftentimes people will often also pick up like a Galio because he's a frontliner. But you can try to do stuff like that. Anyway, I'm finally going to get a unit that I can send over to Headwinder, and I'm going to send the, what's his name, the Hecarim over there. And then I'm going to fiddle with my board a little bit. I'm going to take the Ezreal off the board in favor of playing 3 Preserver, and that's because Ezreal had no items, and he also didn't have Blaster trait, which is his other trait in, so Ezreal wasn't really doing that much. Whereas Preserver is a really useful trait to have in. Preserver is a team-wide trait. Everybody on the team gets regenerates additional health if they lost health. If they haven't lost health, they generate mana. Every 3 seconds, they generate a percentage of that. So 3 Preserver in the early game is actually quite nice, because your units are regenerating quite a bit of health every few seconds. And early in the game, damage tends to be fairly low. So it's actually kind of tough to get through all that health regeneration early in the game. Anyway, so I'm going to win that round as well, and the good news is I was able to win streak all throughout the stage. The only bad news is I had all 5 units still alive, so I do not get my precise planning additional gold value there. Still, I'm getting close to being able to put the 6 portal in. I already have 5 portal units. Let's see, what am I missing right now? I have an Ezreal and a Caston on my bench. The only other early portal unit that I'm missing is... Let me look at the cheat sheet here. Who am I actually missing off my board right now? Oh, I'm missing Galio. That's the other one I'm missing. So yeah, Elise is frontlining for me at the moment. Elise will definitely get dropped. This is not a comp that plays into Shapeshifter, because the only Shapeshifter on a portal board is the Jace, who is a 1-cost unit. So you're not really going to be planning around a 1-cost unit, and nobody really rerolls for Jace. Also, some interesting items here. I get more gloves and I get double bows, so I'm actually pretty happy with this. I'm going to look to go ahead and make red buff, which is a really good item on Rise. And then I also have these extra gloves, so I could potentially just Thief's Glove somebody on the board. So we'll look to do that. And one of the other big changes, I talked about this the last video I did, is one of the other big changes in this most recent patch is you get a ton of item removers. I mean, just like an absolute ton of item removers. So there's every incentive to go ahead and like make items, and then you can always remove them from people later. The Elise I don't care about. The Elise is definitely going to get sold. There's a good argument to be made that instead of putting this Thieves Glove on the Ezreal, I should have probably put it on the Jace, because Jace is the 2-star unit, and Jace also has Shapeshifter trade-in for a little extra health. Anyway, if I can find Galio, I'd be happy to go up to 6 Portal here, but I definitely wanted to level 6 because I was on full win streak. I want to try to maintain that. Again, ideally I want to win these rounds, but also have like not many units alive, so I get the precise planning gold. I end up winning that round with every unit surviving, but even though I don't get the precise planning gold, it's still pretty good, right? I mean, I kept my win streak alive, all out to a 6-match win streak, and I did as much damage to that other board as I could do. Like, you know, winning crushing victories does hurt the enemy team. It sucks some more health out of the lobby, which is also good. All right, looking at the different options here, it's another silver augment. This unfortunately means the last one is almost certainly going to be prismatic. I ended up taking the Exiles option just because I didn't see anything else I liked more. There is a case, by the way, to be made to just play the Olaf here, because remember, I do have a Hunter emblem. I could potentially take one of these units out and then just play the Olaf and like maybe slap the Thief's Glove off the Olaf. I think in retrospect that would have been maybe a stronger play. Like I could Thief's Glove item remover the Thief's Glove off Ezreal, and then just stick the Olaf on the board with the Thief's Glove. That's probably better than anything I have on the board right now. But ultimately, I opted not to do that. I did pick up that extra Bard, though, so we're getting closer on the Bard. Already have a ton of Bards this early in the game, and the hope is that eventually that red buff that Bard's holding is going to move over to Rise, because it's a very good item on Rise. And then we'll probably try to move a Thief's Glove over to the Bard. I mean, if I have, like... if I have 4 Scholars in, then Bard's going to be, and Bard's 3-starred, he's going to be super duper effective later on. All right, now this round is closer. Remember, I'm level 6, this person's level 6. I definitely would like to win this, but I do have enough, and the good news is now I'll get that precise planning gold as well. So I'm pretty rich in this game, and I'm really happy with how things are going. Headwinder has been losing more rounds, but he actually has more gold than me because I've been leveling aggressively, and he's been econing a little bit further. All right, so yep, there's our 3 additional gold. And there's the Galio, so now I can look to play 6 Portal if I want. I think I decided to hold this round, and then I was like, I'll go level 7 next round, and then I'll put in the Galio, and we'll play 6 Portal. So while we have a second here, before the carousel takes place, what exactly does Portal Trait do? It's worth mentioning. So Portal does 2 things. One is Portal champs gain a shield at the start of combat. It lasts for 15 seconds, which is most of the fight. And the deeper you dive into Portal Trait, the bigger the shield is. Note that shield trait, the shielding you get is a flat amount. I have Portal 3 in right now, and so everybody gets a 200 health shield. And then that goes up to 450 at Portal 6 and 700 at Portal 8. So that's the first thing it does, is the more ranks in the trait you have, the bigger the shield you get. By the way, this is a close round, but it looks like I win that one again, and I'll get the precise planning gold. So that is pretty nice. I will take that. Now, the second part of the Portal Trait we'll get back to here in a second. Let's go ahead and do the carousel first. Again, I am looking for items that'll go on a future Rise. So Rise mostly wants attack speed. He's generally attack speed plus AP, if possible. So I would have liked the bow. That got snapped up. I wouldn't have minded the rod. That could have made like a jeweled gauntlet. That wouldn't have been bad either. So I'm looking at the different options here. Most of the good stuff has already gotten taken. So I could take the Nami or I could take the Kastan. I end up taking the Kastan in part because he's a portal unit, and then that'll give me another portal unit. And that would take me towards a Thief's Glove. I think if I were to do this again, I might have taken the vest, because that would be on a 4 gold Nami that I could sell for additional income. And in addition to that, I could have maybe made a Steadfast Heart, which is a really good frontline tank item. So I now have 2 gloves over here, and that means I pretty much have to make another Thief's Glove with them. I'm also waiting to see what Headwinder wants me to send him, and he's going to take a Thief's Glove there. All right, so because I'm on full win streak, I believe that I go ahead here and level to level 7 so that I can get the 6 portal in. So we're going to sell the Zillion. This loses a rank of Preserver, so we drop down to 2 Preserver, but we get up to 6 portal. As I mentioned, that's going to give us significantly more shielding. And by the way, I also have Exiles, so I need to position around the Exile shielding. So there we go. This will work out back here. So now everybody's going to get a flat 450 shield, plus they'll also get shielding from the Exiles augment as well. And then I do have the makings of a potential Thief's Glove here, although I can't remember if I actually make that or not. So like I said, that's the first half of Portal Trait is we get that shielding amount. Now, the other half of Portal Trait is that portal, the big hole on the left-hand side of the screen. Things come out of the portal is kind of the other thing that this trait does. By the way, this is a bit of a sad reinforcement. Look at how everybody pops up right on top of Bard. So I end up losing that round because I got reinforced on, and that's unfortunate because I did level aggressively in order to try to get to try to maintain win streak, but I got reinforced on, and a little unfortunate. I definitely would have won that round if I hadn't gotten reinforced on. At least I do get the precise planning gold because it was a close loss, and I am going to hit Ezreal 2-star. Okay, as I said, the other thing is that portal on the left-hand side, and basically different things can come out of the portal. You see as I take this bow out of the component anvil. There's a whole bunch of different things that can happen. You can have the portal just deal damage to the enemy team. So I also make a Thief's Glove here. It can also, I think it can like summon little Zerat minions too. I don't have the list in front of me of all the different things that the portal can do. But you basically get additional random effects out of the portal, and there's a list of like a bunch of different things that can happen. The more portal units you're playing, it's based on the total star level of your portal units. The higher that is, the better and stronger the things are that come out. It says objects from, here's the official, I highlighted it in-game, but here's the official explanation. Objects from other dimensions fly out of a portal every few seconds to help allies and disrupt enemies. The portal becomes 8% stronger for each portal champion's star level. The portal also grows in size as you get higher into the trait. So right now I'm at portal 6. It is officially a medium portal. It will become a large portal at portal 8. And I should be able to get there. Anyway, I'm able to win that round easily, so it's really sad I lost that previous round. I would have quite a bit more income if I'd won that round. Interrupted me. I would have been on a 10-match winning streak, but I did get interrupted there. I'm still in pretty good shape. I'm level 7 with 40 gold in the bank here, but could have been a little bit stronger there, so that's a bit unfortunate. Anyway, my goal is to get to level 8 and then roll on level 8. I want to find the 4-cost portal units, which are Rise and Taric. If I can find Rise and Taric, that will be enough to play 8 portal. We'll have to drop one of these units here, but we can easily take out Elise. Elise is just holding tank items for a future what's his name? A future Taric anyway. So we'll go ahead and do that. We also have a charm that gives us 2 shot rerolls, so we'll just go ahead and buy this. And the goal is to get to level 8 and then use those shot rerolls on level 8. So I'm going to continue pushing there, and we'll just try to see what we can do. I've gotten some more tank items here, so we'll go ahead and make a Gargoyle Stone Plate. I'm pretty happy with that. We still have to make one more frontline item up there with that leftover, that leftover belt. I would probably like to get another belt to make Warmogs, but Redemption would be pretty good there too. I don't need another Sunfire Cape. I've already made a Sunfire, so I definitely don't need 2 Sunfire Capes out of that. In any case, though, we're still in econ mode here, as I do expect my board to fall off a little bit because I'm still econing while other people are looking to maybe roll down and get stronger. That's because Portal is very much a get to level 8 and roll on level 8 board. So kind of the classic TFT setup, in other words. By the way, we're having a lot of trouble getting through this Vex. Can we kill the Vex before she gets off her shields? Okay, woo! If Vex had gotten off one more ult for another shield, we definitely lose that fight. But instead, we're going to narrowly win. Get our precise planning gold. Very, very nice. Happy to have that happen. And continue onwards here. So like I said, we're going to try to get to level 8. And as expected, the last augment's prismatic. I really was hoping that this would have a +1 portal. The portal crown or whatever it is. I was also really hoping that I could maybe get a spatula at some point in time in this game. The reason for that is the portal trait does have a portal 10 option. It's one of only 3 prismatic traits in set 12. Now that requires getting double emblems because there's only 8 portal units, so you would typically have to get up to level 8. Or excuse me, you typically would have to find 2 emblems and get up to level 8. So now we need to take out the Elise, and we're going to go ahead and move our tank items over to the Taric. There we go. So like I said, we now have the 8 portal in. We also have 3 Scholar, which is somewhat awkward. And I talked about before about how I really didn't like the augment that I had gotten here. I ended up getting this support golem. I had to take something, and I think that was the best option out of the various things I could have gotten here. But the things I got were, I got a Randuin's, which gives armor and magic resistance to the units that stand next to the golem. Well, that's unfortunate because that wastes the Exiles augment that I got for my silver augment. I'm still going to take advantage of it because the Randuin's benefit is better than the Exiles shield, which is not especially large. But still, it was a little bit frustrating. That really was not what I wanted. And then the other thing was a Banshee's Veil that gives units that stand next to it immunity to crowd control and additional attack speed. Those are just not useful support items for me. So this is pretty unfortunate. And that Prismatic Augment kind of missed my board pretty hard. So that was not what I was looking for there, unfortunately. Sadly. But what I was saying before is what I really would like to do is to get another +1 to Portal trait, because Portal 10 is basically an instant you win the lobby. Normally you have to be level 10, have all 8 Portal units, and have double emblems. But because I have a Portal emblem on the Golem, if I can just get +1 to Portal trait from either an Augment or a Spatula, because it is a makeable Spatula emblem, the recipe is Spatula plus Rod. Then I'd be able to play 8. I'd be able to play 10 Portal on level 9. Like, I would not have to go to level 10. All I would have to do is get another +1 to Portal trait, and then just play all 8 of the Portal units, +1 from the emblem, and then +1 from the Golem. And then I would have 10 Portal in, which, as I've said, is an instant win in the lobby. This is a big reason why I don't like Trainer Golems, because if you get +1 to Portal trait, and then just find one other Portal emblem anywhere in the game, whether that's with a Spatula or from an Augment, it's very easy to make 10 Portal, which is an insta win the lobby. In fact, it's a little bit too easy to do that. Again, Portal 8 is you get a Giga Portal, which throws out all kinds of crazy stuff, and every unit gets a 1500 health shield at the start of the fight. It is just so hard to get through that 1500 health shield. That's like more than doubles the health of most units. So it's really, really tough to deal with that. And 10 Portal has an average finish of it's like 1.3 is your average finish if you have that. It's something insane. So it's basically insta-win the lobby. Now, once again, I'm last pick on the carousel because I've been winning here. Again, I've actually only lost one round the entire game. I was not able to get like a Warmogs there, so I'm going to take the tier. Couple options here. This could be Redemption up on the front line, or it could also be something like a Static Shiv for Rise. It's actually a pretty good Rise item because Rise's damage is magic damage, and I actually don't have like an Ionic Spark or some other source of magic resist shred on my team. So yeah, not too shabby. I do have the 8 Portal in. I think my board is overall pretty solid. And okay, I'm going to end up making this Spear of Shojin here. I don't know if that was the right choice. Spear of Shojin's actually not a particularly great Rise item. I mean, it's not a bad item on him. It's certainly a very solid item, but it's not necessarily his best item. I didn't have a great use for the sword, but I might have done better just to make Giant Slayer and then save the tier for like a Redemption up on the front line. So I don't know if that was the ideal choice or not, but like I said, it's a solid item. It's not a bad item, but there probably are better options there. I also went ahead and took the charm that was, it costs 2 gold and then you get 10 gold if you win the round. So fortunately I did win that round. That delivered me some extra econ because I'm just going straight to level 9 here. I think that my board is strong enough to get there. 8 Portal is very strong. As I said, the whole reason why 8 Portal is so strong is normally you need to get all 8 Portal units. That's 2 1 costs, 2 2 costs, a 3 cost, 2 4 costs, and a 5 cost to play 8 Portal. So it's normally pretty hard to do that. But again, we have +1 Portal from our Golem. So, you know, we didn't have to find the Nora. We just were able to get straight to 8 Portal as it was. So I'm continuing to play greedy. I'm going to try to get to level 9. And then on level 9, my goal is to 2-star the Rise, 2-star the Taric, find Nora, replace one of these units, probably either Cassidy or Jace, because they're both kind of useless on my board. Find one of them and replace them with Nora. By the way, this person has 3-star Swain, so I don't think I'm going to beat this person. Also had 3-star Hui back there. I actually came close to beating them, which is kind of ridiculous because I'm just in econ mode. But yeah, go ahead and find... what does I say? Find Nora, replace either Jace or Caston with them. 2-star the Rise, 2-star the Taric, and then also find Melio so I can play 4 Scholars. Also, in addition to this, I just got another 2-star Bard coming over from Headwinder. So I have 8 Bards now, and it's only the end of stage 4. So I'm gonna have tons of time to find one more Bard and then get Bard, have Bard 3-star here. So on a 4 Scholar board with Preserver trade in, 3-star Bard should be pretty good. Also, look at this. I get a Smolder and a Camille. I was like, why couldn't this be one of the units I actually want to play? But no. Also get another Vex. So anyway, I've certainly got a ton of income here. I definitely have enough money to get to level 9. So I'll definitely go ahead and do that. And now we just need to roll and see what we can find here. So I'm looking for these last couple units. I mean, I guess I can play the Rakan until I can find something else. That does give me Preserver trait. But then I find Melio, and I was like, okay, well, we'll play Melio. That gets me to the 4 scholars, which is what I wanted. I've got another component anvil here. So I'm going to go ahead and move the Thief's Glove over to the Bard. I also need to move Melio to a better spot here. So we don't need Rakan. There's no way to get him on the board. If I want to, like, I can play deeper into Preserver trait, but then I wouldn't have the 4 scholars. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take the tier. And again, I kind of make a mistake here. I make Static Shiv. Think I should have made Redemption plus Giant Slayer because now I have nothing left over for that front line. I have like this extra sword, but I don't really have a last item to put on the Taric up there. So my board is kind of getting there, but I just need to hit some more of these 2 stars. Unfortunately, like I need to find 1 more Rise. I need to find 1 more Bard. I need to find 2 more Tarics, and then I still need to find more Melios, and then I also need to find more. And I need to find a Nora as well. Okay, 2-star Galio, I guess, is better than nothing, but that's not really going to help that much. And unfortunately, I've kind of run out of gold here. So my roll down, granted, I did play kind of greedy in going to level 9 there, but my roll down here has not been especially great. I also need to get Melio in the back lines. And I actually have too many units on my board. This is part of the problem. I actually have 11 units on my board if you count the golems. So I really cannot position especially well to get that Exiles benefit. As I said, the fact that the last augment was prismatic and I got these golems that really were not what I wanted definitely hurt me because other people in the lobby got stuff that helped them way more than what I got. I really would have preferred that the last augment had not been prismatic, but not much I could do about that. So we're starting to lose some health here, which is unfortunate because my board is like very close to spiking quite hard, but it's kind of not because, as I said, I'm stalled out on the rises. I'm stalled out on the Tarics. I'm stalled out on Melio here. I'm stalled out on Bard being at, what am I at? I'm at 8 out of 9 Bards there. So like my board is very close to being strong, but it's not quite there yet, unfortunately. I also could get the... I could get the Zoe on the board if I staggered my backline a little bit, like had one of them in the 3rd row, one of them in the 4th row. So I kind of have the Zoe in kind of a terrible spot too. So needless to say, my board was really strong all throughout the game, but it has fallen off a little bit here. And the biggest reason why is I just need to hit my 2 stars. As I said, I did not have an especially good roll down. So here I reforged the sword and I end up getting a bow, which is not really what I'm looking for here. Because a bow is not going to really help. It can only make Gnasher's Tooth, and that's not really going to work for the Rise, or excuse me, for the Taric up on the front line. So after I went on all those rounds, I only lost 1 round in the first, I think, I lost 2 rounds out of the first 15. I started 13-2 in this game. Now I've been losing these rounds. And again, it makes sense because I need to like actually hit my units here. And I just haven't done that yet. So, well, I will go ahead and take a Thief's Glove. I think that's the best of the options available here. I can't really get like a Steadfast Heart. I guess I could have item removed the stuff off Taric and then put a Steadfast Heart on him. Maybe that would have been better because I do have the item remover. Maybe I could have item removed the items off him and then put the Gnasher's Tooth, made a Gnasher's Tooth for somebody else. Maybe that would have been better. I don't know. In any case, though, we do have another gift round, and so I'm kind of stuck with this Gnasher's Tooth on Taric, but yeah. Probably could have item removed that off and then maybe put Steadfast Heart on him. But I will Thief's Glove the Melio. Again, I'm playing a 4-scholar board. Scholar trait gives scholar units additional mana on each auto attack. So, yeah, you can also make the case that the... oh, by the way, and I have this. Gain a random portal champion. Costs 0 gold. I was like, okay, well, might as well try this charm because it doesn't cost me anything. So I think I go ahead and click on this. As you see, I'm taking a look at Headwinder's board over here. He has made 6 warriors for Arcana. And he's kind of playing through his warrior units. So he decided he wanted the Fiora over the Katarina, because that does make 2-star Fiora. And then belatedly, I'm going to click this, gain a random portal champion. I mean, I might as well. I don't have any gold, and it costs 0 gold. So it's better than nothing. But trust me, I do click on this at some point. I guess I didn't realize it until the very end of the round. At least I do have some items for Melio now, but like you can see, I'm just losing a lot of these rounds because I just haven't been able to hit my 2 stars. I was a little bit unlucky. I could have maybe given myself a little bit more gold to roll with. Good news is Headwinder is going to be able to come over with his 6 warriors board. He's actually going to end up winning this round. And all right, that's going to be it. But do I remember to click the gain a random portal champion? And yes, there it comes at the last second. And it actually ends up giving me a rise. I was like, okay. Really wish I had clicked that at the start of the round. Having a 2-star rise might have been a bit better there, but did not end up happening, for better or for worse. But now I have 2-star rise. That is going to make a big difference. And I'm also going to get a completed item anvil here. for the double up gift round. So I have a couple different options here. Again, could try to take some of these, but I just end up taking the Thief's Glove again. I'm extremely heavy on Thief's Gloves so far in here, and I'm still trying to roll. There we finally have the Tarek, so I'll go ahead and lock for that. So I'm finally going to have 2-star Tarek, but again, part of the issue is Tarek does not have quite the best items. Sunfire is not a great item in the late game. And then in addition to that, I've got that Gnasher's Tooth that really should not be on him. Again, I should just item remover it off of him because you do get an item remover at the start of every every minion round gives you a item remover if you don't have one. If you do have one, you don't get a second one. So I could have just taken that item off and put it on somebody else. But I've got Thief's Gloves everywhere on my backline. And then this chrono board is just absolutely tearing through me. Like, this round's not especially close either. So I was like, oh man, you know, I had this great early game, but like this stage 5 was just a disaster. And again, the biggest problem is I just haven't been hitting my units. I've been sitting on like 2 out of 3 copies for so long. But now that I have 2-star Tarek, it should get a lot better. And if I can hit one more Bard, it should get a lot better as well. But yeah, I mean, you can see how strong Portal is throughout the early game. And then in the late game, it's also quite strong too. But you do have to hit the units, and like that's always the thing is when you have 2 4 costs and a 5 cost, can be tricky to hit those units. Portal was not being played in this lobby, by the way. No one else was playing Portal in this lobby, so a little bit unlucky not to have more success. Like, no one else is running Rise in this lobby. No one else is. I think someone might be running Tarek, but like these units are pretty uncontested, so it's a little bit unfortunate. There's Melio, okay, and I already have. Oh, I actually do not have 2-star Zoe. So we'll go ahead and grab this. We have another item we can put on the board. So I was like, well, I guess I could put an item on one of these. Probably should just grab the Redemption and item remover the Gnasher's Tooth off Tarek and put the Redemption on him. That would probably be better. But instead, I think I end up taking the red buff, and then I think I end up putting this on Melio so he'll cast more often. There is actually a lot of synergy between something like red buff that gives a lot of attack speed and having 4 Scholars in. And that's because, you know, Scholar trait means you generate more mana with every auto attack, and then red buff is you attack faster. So, as I said, there's a lot of synergy there. Of course, Melio has just rolled a red buff anyway this round. And, you know, our board, now that we actually have 2-star Tarek and 2-star Rise, we actually do look a good bit stronger now. So I'm actually able to win this round on my own. And I was like, okay, all right, so I'm going to win my round. And Headwinder won his round. And that's going to knock that team down to 1 HP, so that's a great sign. By the way, you know what else would be really nice? If, you know, I could actually find one more Bard, because I've been sitting here on 8 out of 9 Bards for about 8 rounds now. Would be nice if I could find one more Bard to cap out this board. Or a Nora. I've been level 9 for a long time. Headwinder is going to send a Nora over to me, so I will take that. I'll go ahead and put the Yumi on Rise, and we'll put the red buff on Nora over there, so that's not bad either. Yeah, it would have been nice if I'd hit some more Noras. Like I said, no one's really playing Nora on any of these boards, but I mean, at least she did show up finally. And I will also hold the Cassin on my bench just in case there would be a Portal emblem on this upcoming carousel, assuming we get to that carousel. If there were to be a Portal emblem on that carousel, then I could put in Cassin for 10 Portal, and that would be an instant win the lobby situation. So I'm a little disappointed I was never able to get another Portal emblem throughout the game. And can I beat this board? Looks like I was not able to. This was definitely the stronger of the 2 boards. This person was playing a multi-striker board. So I wasn't able to beat them, but Headwinder beat their partner. And so we're going to squeeze out a first place finish here with 7 health left. Again, I think that this was a good example all throughout the early and mid game, and then it did fall off in the late game, in part because I think that the itemization on Rise and Tarek could have been a little bit better. But I do think the biggest thing was I just didn't hit the Portal units at the end of the game very well. And the other problem was that last Prismatic Augment just really screwed me over, and that's why I hate it when the third augment is prismatic, because if you get a bad augment or one that doesn't fit your board, everybody else just spikes so heavily, and you just don't get very much. I just didn't get much out of that one, and so it ended up helping a lot of the other teams a lot more than me. Like, if that had been a Portal Crown or whatever it's called, we would have just instantly won the game off of that. So hooray for RNG affecting the end of the game. As I said, I still think this was a decent game, but there was definitely room for improvement, so I'll probably try to do another Portal game down the road. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this one. Until next time, hope everybody's having a great week. Take care, folks, and I'll see you again soon.